we know that there's quite some impact on different industries. We know that certainly the health industry, the digital industry will go out of this crisis strengthened. But we know that many industries which rely particularly on physical interaction will have difficulties to survive.
Where does it end? You give up your car hobby so you can save the planet. Okay, so how many plastic model kits have you ever had in your life?
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're made out of petroleum products.
Sir, don't give them any ideas.
But that's what it leads to. One thing leads to the next thing, and before you know it, nobody has any hobbies, but they'll allow you to drink like hell.
That's true. And you know what? That's a beautiful dog. Is that your dog, sir? Yeah. How soon is it going to be? And I think people have already made this argument that we need to relinquish our pets. That is a toll on the environment too. They eat meat. Would you be giving up this little guy anytime soon?
Oh, probably.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in Markham, Ontario. And folks, have you heard the news? First of all, the World Economic Forum, they told us to chow down on bugs.
Insects are becoming a trend. The Western diet has to kind of shift and change. And most importantly, it's natural, it's normal, and it's the way that we have to feed the future.
And now they're saying in order to save the planet or prevent the climate catastrophe or to appease Greta Thunberg, who knows, they want us to give up our cars. Can you imagine that? I mean, isn't the car the most famous freedom machine out there? I mean, they sing songs about cars. There's movies about cars, books about cars, magazines about cars. It's not just an appliance like a washing machine or a dryer or a toaster. It is, as I said, a freedom machine. Put another way, folks, nobody ever wrote songs about solar panels and wind turbines. In any event, the car club, the Thornhill Cruisers, they're gathering behind me. And I just thought, surely they must love their wheels. I wonder what they think about Klaus Schwab telling them to hand their cars over to the repo man. Let's check it out. The World Economic Forum, headed up by Klaus Schwab, they want people to give up their cars. What do you make of that, sir?
It's stupid. I mean, why would I give up my car?
Indeed.
Eventually they're going to go electric and we won't have any pollution anymore.
Well, yeah, that's assuming the grid can handle hundreds of millions of electric cars at the same time, I guess.
It will take 20 years, Toyota said, to build the infrastructure for North America.
Okay, then.
20 years.
So, well, you know, but this is a design masterpiece. And one thing, sir, I look at the car. I mean, at the end of the day, you could say it's just an appliance like a washing machine or a dishwasher, but it really isn't. I mean, Prince sang a song about this car. Our little red Corvette, it's part of our culture.
Yeah,
the idea that we have to give up these beautiful wheels, like, why do you think they're asking us to do that, sir?
Well, are they asking us to get rid of classic cars or all cars? If it's classic cars, I'm lucky to get this out once or twice a week.
That same as all those guys that were asked to give up their guns.
Now, are you the owner of this Charger?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
Now to appease Klaus Schwab or Greta Thunberg, would you ever part ways with this beautiful car?
Oh, that's my mistress. I would never give her up.
Are you going to give up this beauty anytime soon?
No, not for sure. Or my other two cars either. I got a hot rod and then I got an antique 1940 Chevy Business Coupe antique.
Wow.
And a 1936 Ford street rod.
Wow. So you're not enthused with the idea of walking or taking public transit?
Not at all. Not at all.
See even a chance to accelerate, let's say, our transition into a green economy, because people probably recognize that we have to become more resilient, We have now the experience of one crisis. The environmental crisis, the climate crisis could be a much bigger one.
Are you ready to give away this beautiful Fairlane 500 XL anytime soon?
Not at my age, no. No, not a hope.
Do you find it hypocritical? Because the same people who say to us to give up our cars, they're getting around in chauffeur-driven limousines. They're flying in private jets. I've never seen them eat cricket sandwiches. So what's going on here? Why is there two separate rules?
I don't know what it is that way. You know.
Okay then.
I wouldn't be eating crickets, that's for sure. So, no. Again, it's. I think everybody is used to having what their father did for his whole lifetime. You expect to be able to do that for yourself for your whole lifetime. And now things are changing 5 or 6 times through your lifetime, and you're supposed to adapt to it all.
We're facing big global challenges. People don't believe that they can make a change, but you really, really can, because you making a change is the only change you can really make. When it times is by 9 billion people, it makes a fundamental difference to the way that we live on this planet.
Why are they telling the rest of us to give up our automobiles? He gets around in a chauffeur-driven limousine. He takes private jets.
Well, there's a bunch of hypocrites, most of them folks.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all jet-setting around the world. You know, look at that. What was his name that was all talking about global warming a few years back there?
David Suzuki, Al Gore.
No, yeah, Al Gore. Al Gore.
Yes.
And he was on a big jet plane all the time, flying all over the place. And every time that thing takes off, it takes way more, puts out way more pollution than any of these cars do.
These don't pollute anymore. Not these, but the new cars, they don't pollute anymore.
100%.
They don't pollute anything.
Well, you never know who you're going to meet at a classic car meet. I just bumped into Roy. He is a Green Party member. He ran in the riding of Markham Stouffville a few years back. And, I got to tell you, I'm pleasantly surprised. You like these cars as much as me, it would seem, and yet you're part of the Green movement. What's your take, sir, on the World Economic Forum telling people they should give up their cars to save the planet?
When I look at these classic cars, I see people who put their time, their love, their passion into it. And when you look at the carbon footprint of this car, sure, it's a gas-guzzling V8, 440 cubic inches. But the carbon footprint on this car, because it's only taken out on beautiful days, he might put on, I think the average is 400 or 500 miles a year. His carbon footprint is literally less than the outfit I'm wearing right now. So he doesn't, he should not feel guilty. He should feel happy about bringing out his car and showing us.
And we spoke briefly off camera. I mean, there is a flip side to the EV revolution going on. The California energy authorities are saying we are not going to be able to power tens of millions of Californians driving EV cars. There's only one nuke plant there. There's already brownouts and blackouts in California as is. So is this maybe a piece of the puzzle that some haven't figured out, sir, in terms of rushing to the EV way of driving?
Yes, well, we're not going to rush into it. No, everybody's not going to run out and buy a new EV car this year. It's going to go in stages, just like when we went from horses to cars. At first, people were going, where are we going to get the gas? But right now, people are saying, where are we going to get the electricity? Right now, we've got a nuclear plant that's sitting there, and at night, it's got all this electricity nobody can use. We can charge up our cars at night when we don't need the electricity, and then during the day drive them while they're heating our homes or heating our air conditionings.
Where does it end? You give up your car hobby so you can save the planet. Okay, so how many plastic model kits have you ever had in your life?
Oh, yeah.
They're made out of petroleum products.
Sir, don't give them any ideas.
But that's what it leads to. One thing leads to the next thing, and before you know it, nobody has any hobbies, but they'll allow you to drink like hell.
That's true. And you know what? That's a beautiful dog. Is that your dog, sir? Yeah. How soon is it going to be, and I think people have already made this argument, that we need to relinquish our pets? That is a toll on the environment, too. They eat meat. Would you be giving up this little guy anytime soon?
Oh, probably.
Well, there you have it, folks. No members of the Thornhill Cruisers, not surprisingly, of course, are on board with the World Economic Forum saying to get rid of these beautiful cars from yesteryear, or from the present year for that matter. I mean, even we bumped into that Green Party member and he's not on board with that, so hope abounds. As for Klaus Schwab, you want us to eat insects, you want us to give up our cars, you're probably going to tell us to give up our pets.
Right response is to collaborate and to coordinate internationally, so we can address the global challenges posed by climate change and COVID-19, and also continue to use trade as a force for good.
But don't come here to the Thornhill Cruisers meet close, because if you do, you'll be cruising for a bruising. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. I'll tell you another great thing about the automobile, folks, is that you don't need a Arrive can to motor around town. Well, at least not yet. But meanwhile, it is absolute misery at Canada's major airports, and a lot of that has to do with the useless and intrusive app known as ArriveCan. Folks, please sign our petition, noarrivecan.ca. That's noarrivecan.ca. We're taking on the fight to make ArriveCan as relevant as a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And if you're able to, if you can kick in $1 or $2, that would be greatly appreciated as well. Thanks so much.